Episode 97, Interacting with a Probable Self. Good evening, I am Tomas Guevara, and this is the channel Rewriting the Reality. Please subscribe to this channel to remember who you are. In today's episode 1 we'll be explaining what a probable self is and how to interact with it. Many people believe that somewhere on our planet there is a doppelganger of ourselves, and yes, it is possible because that is a choice that we all have, but in fact is a probable self. A doppelganger is a term borrowed from German folklore. It refers to a ghostly counterpart of a living person, often portrayed as an identical double or look-alike. Here are a few key points about doppelgangers. A doppelganger is someone who bears a striking resemblance to another individual. This similarity can be so uncanny that it seems as if they are twins or clones. In some cases, a doppelganger is considered an alter ego, a separate version of oneself with a distinct identity or personality. Doppelgangers are often associated with paranormal occurrences. Seeing one's own doppelganger is sometimes considered an omen or a harbinger of bad luck. The word doppelganger comes from German, where doppel means double, and ganger means goer. German writers coined this term to describe these spectral doubles. According to German folklore, every living creature has an invisible spirit double that is identical to the living individual. These doppelgangers are distinct from ghosts, which appear only after death. The second description is the most accurate translation of a probable self. So, if you ever encounter someone who looks eerily like you, you might wonder if they're your doppelganger, and probably is. In the interaction concerning probable selves, many times a probable self of you may be more receptive objectively to another individual and interacting with them than it may be to interacting with you. This type of interaction many times creates a type of apprehension and fearfulness, because a probable self is a projection of an aspect of you. Therefore, a probable self is a creation of you, an offspring, so to speak, of yourself, and this offspring of yourself does not necessarily hold an objective awareness of the information that you avail yourself of. This is not to say that they may not subsequently acquire this type of information, but they do not hold an objective awareness of all that you hold in awareness, for you are projecting outwardly from yourself, in a manner of speaking, an aspect of yourself that you wish not to be experiencing necessarily in your particular focus, but allow that aspect of yourself to be projected into its own being. Now, it is not its own essence. It is an element of you, but it is within its own reality. It is creating of its own reality and creating of its own choices once it is projected. In this, as it may be confronted with the mirror image of itself, this may be creating fearfulness within it, for it does not hold an objective understanding of the interaction. Therefore, there may be more successfulness, in your terms, in interaction with these probable selves if you are engaging another individual and allowing them to be interactive with that probable self. Now, let me express to you, this is not to say that it is impossible for yourself to be interactive, but it may be more difficult and it may be requiring of more time framework in your patience and acceptance, for the individual shall not necessarily be accepting of your expression for a time framework, until that moment that it chooses to be trusting of the situation and not viewing that this shall be harmful to it. The reason that these probable selves experience this type of fearfulness is that the confrontation of yourself with them threatens their individual identity, for underlyingly there is a subjective awareness that you are the same, that you are of the same focus, and in this, there becomes a blurring of the distinction of individuality and identity. This may be overcome in continued interaction, but it may be requiring more time than would be necessary were another individual to be encountering this probable self. A probable self may look like you, have very similar traits to yourself, and even drive the same kind of car and have the same type of wife. These situations are not uncommon, but usually we do not encounter them. I hope this information may be of help to you to understand your greatness. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel.